There's over $1 million worth of furniture and artwork that has gone through my shop that's sitting inside. Let's go. But first, we have to get there. We're back here in the shop. It's about 9:30. We're getting everything loaded up so we can get out to Echo Park. This is the John Lautner Saulkin House, and it's another exhibit for the Peter Blake Art Gallery. But you may have seen, we haven't been here on YouTube in a few minutes. It's been really busy here at the shop, holiday season, but as I said, as you can see behind me, the shop's full of furniture. We've had a crazy last couple of months. Partly, it's summertime. It's very hard to film in here. It's not air conditioned. We have to leave all these fans running. That's for another story. But if you want a good story, go check out the Atomic Ranch magazine. We had another feature article in this month's magazine. So if you want to read a little bit more about me, the refinishing, the history, go check that out. Go order your copy today. So it's time to go. Ivan and I are going to get the camera equipment and everything loaded up that we need to bring, and we'll get on the road. Okay, we made it. Took us an hour to get here. We're in Echo Park, California. Right behind me, as you can see, this is the carport to the Saulkin House. This one here was built by an architect named John Lautner. A lot of you may know his work, but funny story about this one is this one behind me was built before he was officially a licensed architect. And it's pretty crazy. I've already walked through this property. It is gorgeous. I can't wait to show you. Let's get inside. But funny thing before we get in, there's over $1 million worth of furniture and artwork that has gone through my shop that's sitting inside. Let's go. All right, as we go into the courtyard, first one I noticed was, this has been a few years now, we did this little doghouse for, it's a Willie Gould, like it's a concrete and resin style piece of artwork. Really cool. I said one of the most iconic things that I've done. It gets really kind of cool. Well, then we have some really cool little like lounge chairs outside. These, I believe, were all powder coated. Got those done. I remember this little guy right here too. It came into the shop. All of these little dowels were loose. We glued them back up, prepped them. I think we resanded, resprayed this thing. Really cool. But I want to go take you out here. There's a big art installation by an artist named Gisela Colon. Let's go show you that first before we get inside. You can see here too, another one of the Willie Gould like little chairs that we've done. Stripped that down, sanded them all, got them cleaned back up. I believe these things had about 10 layers of paint on them. We stripped them down using Benco stripper, my go-to. We got those done too. So that's been probably 5 or 6 years since I've seen that guy. But you come back here and look at, we are in the heart of LA, Echo Park, but look at the size of this piece of property. Like this is made for living outdoors, not just inside this beautiful house. Well, and then yeah, if you look out here to the right too, you can see the Hollywood sign from this backyard. And I said, I don't remember what year that thing was built, but this house had a clear view of it from early on because a lot of these houses still were not even built yet. I said, this thing was built in 1948. First part of this installation right here, like I said, by Gisela Colon. Here's a few little pieces. I really like those big pieces of marble too. Then saw cut and nice and flat. Really looks nice. But the grand piece, which we are a little bummed, the sun has gone away. We can't see it as much. I'm going to post it on my Instagram. I have some videos from my phone right when we got here. But this is, I believe, like a resin and epoxy piece of artwork. And I said it's an outdoor installation. But I said the sun was coming through just about 20, 30 minutes ago, and this thing looked like it was on fire. The internal colors were popping out. It was stunning. Right now, I said you see a lot more of the greens and the yellows. But still, I said just this, I mean, the thing's 8 foot tall probably. It's a beautiful piece of work. I know Gisela, she's a really great human being, great artist. I love seeing her work in all these installations by Blakehaus. All right, welcome inside. Like I said, this is the dining room here, living room. But I just wanted to say something real quick before we get involved in showing what we've done. This is the 5th time that we've been a part of Blakehaus, which is these exhibits that Peter Blake Art Gallery puts together. This one here, like I said, is the Lautner House. It's the Saulkin House by Lautner, actually. And I said, seeing the furniture in here it does something different than seeing it at the shop. Even when it's done, it doesn't look to this level of I don't even have words for it. It leaves you speechless seeing it like this. I mean, so what I want to do is dive in, show you a few of the projects that we've done, what they're worth, what they sell for, and how involved the restorations were. We do have some befores and afters that we're going to show during this video. I mean, the first thing I want to show you are these posts, like the support beams. It's all done internally. He knew when to leave them exposed. He knew when he wanted to hide them behind a wall or inside of a wall. I said, like, that's my coolest like feature architectural wise, and they're not even solid beams. If you kind of look at this closely, they made these out of like a 2x12 with an opening, so it just lets more light through. It doesn't look as heavy, but still adds the same amount of support. I said that structurally is cool with the slant of this roof. Really iconic, really mid-century modern. And I said this is 48, so this is still early in that generation of homes and furniture. The first iconic piece in this room out of all of them, the one that sticks out most to me is this one here. It's a Herman Miller for Eames. This is a rosewood room divider. Ivan and I, we restored this about a year ago. We stripped it down, refinished it, we did all the repairs, because as we know with rosewood, it gets a lot of little loose veneers, a lot of loose like damage at the bottoms. But the hardest thing about this restoration is that there is a like a nylon, like a strap basically connecting everything. We had to tape these up multiple times and protect them every time we did another coat. Because when we sprayed the paint, the lacquer, the sealer, the tape wanted to peel off, and it was not protecting this fabric anymore. So I said, this is iconic. It's rosewood. It's rare. I believe I said this is number 279 of 500 ever made. Like I said, very rare. We don't see these. This is the first one we've ever seen of the rosewood version. So another one that, like, right when I turn around, if you've been watching my YouTube channel for a while, you may have seen this piece of artwork sitting in the background of the shop over in the corners. We did some small repairs on this. It's a Larry Bell. I've seen these in customers' homes. I've never actually got my hands on doing any of the small repairs. And I said, this was one of the most difficult things for me, just because of what it is. It's a big piece of artwork. And just a notable mention, take a look at like the artwork on this turntable. It doesn't even look like it should be playing records. It is just a beautiful piece of art on top of being a functional record player. Really cool, really iconic. Goes well with these nice speakers behind it. That's the best part about this guy. But behind me now, I almost forgot about this piece. We saw this over a year ago, I believe. This is really cool. It's a Brazilian. It's this. Really what's rare about this guy, it's a solid rosewood. There's no veneer on this. Every one of this is sculpted out of a solid piece of rosewood. Really like iconic, really awesome. It is Brazilian. It is like I said, we think it's 1960s is when this beautiful thing was built. Has a travertine top, which I love the original travertine, but we don't know who made this one. It's in the style of, it looks like very Sergio Rodriguez, Jorge Zalzabin, some of those big Brazilian designers. This had no tags, no names. So if you know, leave it down in the comments below if you know who made it. But it's definitely an iconic piece of furniture, just the style of it, the shape, and the sculpting of all that wood. Well, I mean, you can see like the original like patina of that travertine. I said, I've always loved those things. And I said, this guy here, price of $13,000 is what they go for. That's what they're asking. It's definitely, I said, worth it. It's really iconic, and it could look good in anyone's living room, especially the Saulkin House. And it's not very often I get to sit in a $65,000 lounge chair, but here I am. This one here, Kem Weber, big designer. But this one here, I said, this was 1930s. This thing was built. Here's what it looked like before. So I'm going to show you some videos right now of how it came into the shop, torn down. This thing has gone through a full overhaul. All the chrome has been redone and repolished. This has been redone in the Sandra Jordan alpaca. Like I said, this fabric is gorgeous. I mean, it's luxurious, and I love this type of fabric. I know, Sandra's work, and I know the furniture that Peter Blake has used her fabric on. Not a big job for Moore's Refinishing though. Ivan and I, we just fixed up these arms. We stripped them, sanded them. Had a lot of delamination through some of this bent plywood. We glued that back up, repaired it properly. And now here it is, sitting in this living room, and like I said, just like a showroom. It's a showroom piece. It's a stunner. It's definitely one of the icons in this household. All right, there's this beautiful artwork piece up here by Alan Johnston, but I wanted to showcase a piece of furniture that Ivan and I got a chance to restore. I don't think I've seen this thing in about 5 years. This one has been sitting in storage waiting for the perfect show to be a part of. But like I said, Peter Blake likes this style of this warm, like this is a mahogany with the white and the black. It's like I said, it's just one of his showcase like styles, is the way he does his furniture. And I said, I don't remember who built this one. This is just a gorgeous little end table. I love it with that center post down the middle in white. And I said, I remember doing this one, but I can't tell you anything that was wrong with it because it's been, like I said, so many years. And so let's go on to the next room. There's a lot of stuff in this house that we could show you. As I'm turning around, you can see along this like wall, this display, like library, bookcase, whatever you want to call it. I see a few pieces that have come through the shop. We've done some repairs, restorations, but what is most notable to me are these vintage French bar stools, fully redone. Brass has been polished and redone. The black has been repowder coated, and of course, Ivan and I stripped and refinished these seats. They're sculpted. The character of the wood is just so nice. Look at the stuff on the edge here. There's a lot of this knots, and so there's just a lot of character to these, brought back to life by Ivan and I. So I said one more piece. I said there's so much in just this room alone. This one here is a beautiful chair, Gigi Radici. What year? I don't think I see a year that this one was built, but it was wrapped in the Sandra Jordan alpaca, just like the Kem Weber, sitting next to this iconic Paul McCobb travertine in brass. But we did do something in the shop, this nice, beautiful little display case. Take a look at that. I'd have to say that little piece of rosewood makes the whole piece, and we could thank Ivan and I for doing that one, huh? So if you're a fan of Disney and Disney production, Mickey Mouse, any of that, and vintage, I have a chair for you that I want to show you. So this one here is a Kem Weber. It's called the airline chair. Iconic, but it's also rare. There are only about 200 or 300 of these ever made, and I believe we've seen 4 or 5 of them in the shop. This is the last in the collection of Peter Blake. He doesn't have any more. This is the last one, but this is the most iconic one because of one little thing sitting under this arm. Let me show you. And this is what makes chairs like this go for $30,000. This little sticker right here at the bottom. Walt Disney Production Studios. I forget the address, but it's Alameda Street. I believe it was Burbank. There it is right there. I said that's what it was. These were commissioned by Disney and we're going in all the executives' offices. These chairs, these were the cool chairs you wanted as an executive before Eames chairs were available. Those weren't made until like the mid 50s, late 50s. So this is what you wanted to see in your office when you knew you had made it as a big timer. All right, now we're at work in the office, sitting at this vintage hairpin and travertine like table. All the brass has been redone. The travertine, I said, is beautiful. I love that. I said, I would love this in my home. I got 3 kids, and this is not kid friendly. I'm not going to put this in. But what really stands out around it are these Andre Sornay chairs that Ivan and I restored. These are 1935. I said, coming up on 100 years old. Peter was on the hunt for these for a long time. We ended up finding them, and these were beat up. As all things go, you buy them in an auction, and they say they're in great shape. They show up, and they are destroyed. Now, is it the movers? Was it a false advertisement? We'll never know. What we do know is that we've restored them, and I said, and they look stunning sitting here in this office, I guess you want to call it. Yet again, if we go kind of look back, Ivan, I said, here's another one of the support beams, support posts, sitting here just in the room, just adding to the architecture of this room. Really stunning. I really want to get to work at this desk. So if you want to see what a pair of $20,000 chairs look like, let me give you like the full spin around. I said, Ivan and I did this. These are built, like I said, with, like I said, 100-year-old tools, 100-year-old technology, built a little bit more rough, a little more rustic, but it also has like all these little brass nails that went in as a part of the design into this little 1/4-inch piece of plywood, which is also, like I said, tied into all this solid hardwood, which I said which I think was kind of iconic in that Andre Chournet style. A little bit more of like the worm holes in the wood, a little bit more character to the wood. Let me spin it around as well. You can see it kind of on the side. So it's just a lot more character to that wood. It's a lot more age. It's an old tree that was used to make this piece of furniture. And I said we're sitting at here. It's 1935. It's 2025. We're at 90 years old of this chair. And I said, now it's sitting here in an exhibit, out here in Echo Park, come back to life, and now it's ready for another 100 years of use and enjoyment by hopefully somebody who wants to buy it. And now that we're kind of in the lounge, the relaxation, the reading room, whatever you want to call it, first thing I noticed right here is this Jean Prouvé, 1947, I believe we found, has been properly restored back to its original character. All the brass has been redone. We didn't do anything to this. Scott over at Normandy Metal Refinishers, Newport Beach, they're the ones that did this, but it's sitting right above this beautiful Kem Weber chaise lounge. Once again, we didn't do anything to this one. I've seen this in another show, and if I remember right, this had like a green vinyl on it when it came in. I believe it came to the shop and then it went to the upholstery person after. I said, I vaguely remember what this looked like originally. But Scott, again, re-chromed everything, polished. He said, polished the legs, went to the upholstery shop, had all the fabric done, all I believe this is the alpaca as well. This has all been redone to top level standard. So you want to check out one of my favorite tables that I've ever restored? It's this one right here. Vladimir Kagan. It's called the unicorn table, or guitar pick table is what we would call it in the shop. Table like this, they usually go online for around $17,000. This one here is sitting in the Saulkin House. John Lautner architect, built in 1948. I said this is one of my favorite pieces we've done, and I believe we have done 2 of these now. This is I think the second one we've restored. Solid walnut, beautifully done. I said it sits perfect in this corner of this little room. And I almost forgot, I wanted to just showcase, we've done a lot of these beautiful planters that have been fully restored, but the flowers put in by Stephanie and Peter just make this room, it just adds a warmth to it. On top of it, same thing has gone through it. Every piece of this has been stripped down, sanded, and repaired. All of the metal went over and got polished over at Scott's, and said flowers were done by Peter and Steph. And I said, it's just, they are in all of his Blakehouses. They always are, my opinion, one of my favorite things to see in the houses is where these get placed to just warm up a building, just a piece of, a household. These pieces of artwork with the flowers just adds a warmth to these homes. And then we can go back into the bedroom, because really this is set up as a 1-bedroom house. We have this one here. It's the Pierre Jeanneret. It's French, 1956. It's more of a lounge chair, let me move out of the way a little bit. That makes it a little bit more iconic, a little more rare. We've seen a lot of these more in the dining chair size. This is more elongated and lower to the ground. Chairs like this go for upwards of $12,000. They're really rare, really unique, and we always love restoring these. I said this one came in probably 5 or 6 years ago, I believe, that we've seen this one in the shop. All right, now we're back on the back patio. Once again, Hollywood sign in the background. First thing you see, though, are these Willie Gould sculptures that we restored over probably the last 8 years. Some of these I remember doing them a long time ago. And these ones right here are like these 3 planters. We have this one here, which is really, it's a 2-piece, if I remember. No, this is a solid one. But once again, these were coming into the shop with 6, 7, 8 layers of paint on them. People were just painting over them again and again. And the most iconic way they sit is they're supposed to sit here in this natural state. It's like a concrete and like fiberglass resin of some sort, because these you would think weighed 300 pounds, and they don't weigh that much. They're not the lightest things in the world. I'll show you right now. Let's just show you my strength. You could pick them up. They're heavy, but if that was solid concrete, you would not be able to lift these suckers up. Like I said, these are always scary. They always, I'm always scared to work on them in the shop, because what if they fall over? What if they drop off a table? I can't repair these. Any piece of wood, we could definitely do. But there's one more piece I wanted to showcase too, because it's pretty iconic right now here in the background. Let's go take a look at this. I always like to showcase these pieces as well. This is Peter's wife, Stephanie Bacciero. She makes these beautiful sculptures. This one here is out of brass. We see them done in ceramic. I've seen them in all types of things. Fiberglass. I've seen one that's 6 foot tall. It's beautiful. I love the piece. I'm going to back out so my shadow doesn't get on it. But I said, you can see, I said, it's just beautiful. Just one piece, it looks like, as you know, that's been twisted and folded and manipulated to look like this. And this one here, like I said, is made out of brass. Really stunning in my opinion. And has the view of the Hollywood sign behind it. Like I said, I don't think you're going to be able to pick that one up behind the camera, but like I said, it is a stunning piece. Right, we are back outside. 1948, the Saulkin House, built by John Lautner. This is the 5th time we have been a part of the Blakehaus exhibits. This one is awesome. This is one of my favorites that I've been in so far, and it's just seeing, like I said inside, seeing the furniture in the beauty of the home that it was designed for really makes a difference, really makes all the hard work that Ivan and I do, makes it worth it. And I said, all those late nights at the shop, getting dirty, covered in stained sawdust, all of those types of things. I can't wait to do another one of these. So I said, we're looking for that. If you are a architect or a real estate agent that specializes in homes like this, I'm going to put Peter's information down below. He's always looking for the next house to set up one of these exhibits, to be a part of and help out, you know, getting the eyeballs on these, you know, these beautiful homes. So I'll put his information down below. If you have any questions for me, drop them in the comments below, and just make sure to hit that follow button and stay tuned. We're going to be getting busy in the shop later this winter.